Hello Summoners and Summonettes, Gordon here, and today I'm going to be sharing with you some of my favorite fundamental ideas and practices that you can learn and implement to improve your League of Legends rank. First of all, before you ever even step into ranked queues, there are a few things that you can do to set yourself up for success. First of all, make sure you have a general understanding of every champion's abilities and what they do. If you don't understand them and you end up against them, you could already be at a disadvantage. The second thing you can do is, as you're browsing through all of those champions, try to decide on 2 or 3 champions that you want to main. They don't even have to be in the meta at the moment, and master them. You can actively climb in League with any champion in the game. You might not be on the strongest champion, but if you have 10 times the amount of games on that champion compared to your opponent, you can outclass them with your own skills. And as a backup, make sure you know at least one champion for every other role and to be a little bit comfortable on them in case you get autofilled. Another tool that you should utilize is the practice tool. Bruce Lee once said, "I fear not the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks once, but I fear the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times." This is super relatable when it comes to League of Legends. Why would you ever go into a ranked game and for the first time try and pull off a crazy mechanical move such as a Lee Sin insect? That's just insane. You would never do that. That's as if a pro golfer was going to try and make a crazy swing that he has never practiced in the final round of the Masters to win it all. No, of course not. They're going to take the time beforehand and practice it on the driving range so that when push comes to shove, they can perform when it matters. The last thing that you can do before you get into a game is to take your climb seriously. If you want to actually improve, you need to have the mindset to allow you to do so. Don't play League if you're tired, hungry, or angry, and make sure you're in a spot of comfort. Don't try and play League in a random cafe on some sketchy Wi-Fi. Allow yourself to take out any outside distractions, so the only thing that you have to concentrate on is your game. Make sure that you have warmed up beforehand and you're feeling alert. Whether that be playing a normal or a flex queue game to get yourself there, do whatever it takes. This next point kind of piggybacks off the last point of mentality. You can't carry every game, but you can allow yourself to be in a position to get carried every game. One thing that not enough people know how to do in League of Legends is lose their lane gracefully. If you're going to be in an uncomfortable matchup or you're autofilled, just simply let your teammates know beforehand that you're going to be playing passive and safe in lane. This way it lets them have a choice whether or not they want to try and help you or just worry about the other teammates. I don't care if you're autofilled or if you're in the worst counter matchup known to mankind. I don't mind you going down 20 or 30 CS in lane. That's way better than giving up 3 or 4 kills. So typically a good win rate to shoot for and steadily climb is at least 60%. In my opinion, you will win 40% of your games just because you have the better teammates on your team. And on the flip side, you'll also lose about 40% of your games because you simply won't have those teammates on your side. It is up to you to make the difference in that last 20%, giving you the opportunity to have at least 60% win rate. Now whether that means you carry 1v9 or you allow yourself to get carried, you need to be able to do both. Timing cooldowns is a big part of what separates a good player from a great player. This is, however, one of the skills that comes with just time and practice. If you're able to memorize the cooldown of spells and or summoners, that gives you windows of opportunity within the game for you to make a proactive play. You can see in the clip here that in this play we get Orianna's flash. Sadly we don't actually get the kill, but now I know that we have a 5-minute opportunity to potentially make a play on her later, and you can see just a few minutes later I make a pick on Orianna. And this is very, very late into the game here. We get a single shutdown on the Orianna, who's their big carry in this game. And since she's dead, we go straight for the Baron, pick up an uncontested Baron, and this allows us to close out the game. In this last team fight of the game, I know Orianna still doesn't have flash up, so if I'm able to zone her off from getting to the rest of her team, we should be able to take out their front line and potentially win the fight here. And that's exactly what we do. And once we make a first initial pick, I know Orianna still has her ult, so that's the only thing that I have to worry about. So I'm dodging in and out, trying to juke it, and as soon as it comes out and it misses me, I know the game's over. I kid you not when I say this is the most important tip out of all of them so far, in my opinion. If you are anywhere from bronze to platinum and you improve your map awareness even just a little bit, I guarantee you can climb an entire division just off that alone. Now I've learned a couple of tricks and tips to help you potentially improve your map awareness as a laner and not a jungler, and I'll probably go ahead and make a video on that at a little bit of a later date. Now, the beautiful thing about map awareness is it's not entirely just looking at your minimap for half a second and seeing if you're getting ganked by the jungler or a mid laner. It's kind of understanding the map as a whole and realizing what you need to do to make your next play to close out the game. Now in this clip here, I make a very nice pick onto the Kazakhs in a 1 versus 1 situation, giving our team hopefully what would be a 5 versus 4. But after I made that pick, I realized our Fed Yasuo wasn't in the fight yet. Unfortunately, my teammates didn't realize that yet, so it is now a 4 versus 4. But initially taking out that assassin of Kazakhs early on gives us the safety to make an easy flank on the enemy mid laner, and then pretty much there, we win the entire fight with a breeze. And the only enemy alive now on the enemy team is actually the Kazakhs, who we had previously taken out before the fight had even began. And now I'm looking at my minimap, realizing what the next play is, and I realize it's a 1 versus 3 situation and Kazakhs' red buff is up. So I'm pinging to Caitlyn, come over here and help me with this, because the Kazakhs probably thinks he's safe to farm his jungle because we're going to base after winning a fight and essentially acing the enemy team. So we take the red buff here, and unfortunately Caitlyn doesn't actually stay with me, but the Braum, however, has a brain and decides to come with me, and he realizes Kazakhs is probably going to face check, and we get another kill for free. Now, I've never really made a video like this before, so I'm not entirely sure how I did, but I definitely had a lot of fun making it. It's actually a lot of work, but I'm curious to see if any of you guys take up on these tricks or tips, and let me know how it goes in the comments below.